Today I want to break down a philosophy or a principle called magical thinking. Magical thinking is the idea that what you say or what you do or what you think can make things happen. I don't know if you remember when you used to say, step on the crack, it breaks your mother back. Well, that's an example of this magical thinking that kind of can become pervasive if you're not aware of it. If you had an experience where someone asked you to do something and you said no, and then all of a sudden something negative happened to you, you can attribute that to the fact that you said no. And this is a phenomenon called magical thinking. Hello, my name is Dwayne Barnes, and I want to welcome you to Mind Medicine with Dwayne Barnes. And I want to make it clear that I am not a mental health professional. I am just an everyday man doing the best I can to heal myself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And why I am in this process, I want to share my findings with you. And today I want to talk about magical thinking. Magical thinking is a normal phase in childhood in which we think that our thoughts or totally random, unrelated events can change the future. And I just want to explore that today, this concept called magical thinking. Magical thinking is something that a lot of us started to participate with in our childhood, and especially if you come from a very challenging childhood and you had this thought that you could change things, you can bend reality in a sense with your thoughts and your words and your actions. And a lot of us picked it up from, religious experiences. You pray and then something happens. And at the end of the day, magical thinking isn't a bad thing. The only reason it's bad is if it starts to create some form of distress in your life, if it starts to affect your relationships, and if it just has a negative impact on you, For me, I feel like I got into a process of feeling like because I did all of the things. I prayed. I didn't step on the crack. I prayed. I didn't step on the crack to break my mother's back, but I still was breaking my mother's back, or I still was creating the things that I didn't want. So it began to cause me stress, and I began to ritualize my life. I began to do things in order to keep myself safe, and also in order to feel like I had control over the things that was happening in my life. And it caused a lot of stress. And I discovered this term called magical thinking. And I realized that I've been participating in this magical thinking to make myself feel safe and to feel like I was in control. And now I'm realizing that I'm not in control. I cannot bend God's will, the universe's will. I just cannot. There's not enough prayers. There's not enough tithing. There's not enough trying to people please, which were all the things that I was doing in order to create circumstances that I wanted. And now I'm stepping into the reality that I just got to let go, and I just have to trust the flow of life and trust that everything that shows up I can handle, and finally come to terms with the fact that I don't have control. I don't have control. The control is out of my hands. I have control of myself. Like I could, you know, do the right things and take care of myself and try to be the best I can and to cultivate my relationships as best as I can, but I'm not keeping those relationships intact. I'm not making my career flow. It's all about just trusting that all I can do is the best I can, and whatever shows up, I can handle it. And that's new for me because I was always a controller. I was always a magical thinker. And a lot of my magical thinking I gathered from my religious upbringing. Pay tithes, you'll be blessed. Come to church every day, you'll be blessed. Do this, you'll be blessed. Don't do this, you'll be blessed. And that got me on a circle of chasing things through my good actions until I realized that I cannot good myself into the things that are not in alignment for me. And so that is kind of where I'm at today. And it's a scary process to let go of all of my rituals, let go of my control, and just wake up every day and to go with the flow and to see what happens and to do the best I can in every possible way I can. And that's really all the control I have. And I can continue to do my magical thinking things because it's so ingrained in me. But with this knowledge, I can accept that I'm still not in control. And when the things aren't happening, or the things are happening that are negative or positive, it's not a result of my thoughts or words or actions necessarily. It's just nature. It's just God. It's just the universe who is bringing a lot of these things up for me to see things and to learn from those experiences. And I just have to accept that life will always have its ups and downs and its challenges, and I'm not creating them. I'm not being attacked. I'm not a bad person because they're happening. It's just life. And I have to get to a point where I just am able to accept life on life's terms and accept that I can't control life like I thought I could, or like I was taught I could, because I've done it all. I fasted, I prayed, I tithed, I've done everything I could to try to control life with my magical rituals and my magical thinking, and it has not served me. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this whole thing called magical thinking.